Roanoke Colony. It's 1587, and 115 English settlers are building a new life on Roanoke Island, off modern-day North Carolina. 3 years later, a supply ship arrives. Poof, everyone's gone. Houses are empty, no bodies, no signs of a fight. The only clue? The word Croton carved on a post. Did they join the nearby Croatan tribe, starve, or get attacked? Nobody knows. Fun fact: one settler was John White's daughter, who just had America's first English baby, Virginia Dare. Would you settle a colony knowing it might vanish? Amelia Earhart's flight. July 1937, and Amelia Earhart, the trailblazing aviator, is halfway through her round-the-world flight. She takes off from New Guinea with navigator Fred Noonan, aiming for tiny Howland Island in the Pacific. Then, nothing. Her radio crackles with faint calls, but no landing. Searchers scour 250,000 square miles. No plane, no bodies. Theories range from crashing into the sea to capture by the Japanese. Fun fact: bones found on Nikomaroro Island in 1940 might have been hers, but they're lost now. Would you fly across an ocean with just a map and grit? Crew of the Mary Celeste. December 1872, and the merchant ship Mary Celeste is found drifting in the Atlantic for 100 miles off Portugal. She's seaworthy, cargo intact, food in the galley, but her 10 crew and passengers? Gone. The lifeboat's missing, yet no storms were reported. Piracy, mutiny, or sea monsters? Nobody's cracked it. Fun fact: the ship's log stopped a week earlier, calm as ever. Would you sail a ship that might turn into a ghost ride? Cleopatra's Tomb. Cleopatra, Egypt's last pharaoh, died in 30 BCE with her lover Mark Antony after losing to Rome. Their tomb, packed with treasures, was famous. Then it vanished. Ancient writers said it was near Alexandria, but 2,000 years of floods, quakes, and wars hit it. Archaeologists dig today, finding hints, but no jackpot. Fun fact: her tomb might hold gold worth billions. Talk about a royal hideout. Would you hunt for a queen's grave that's dodged history? The Lost Legion. Around 117 CE, Rome's 9th Legion, 5,000 elite soldiers, marches into Scotland to crush rebels. They never come back. No records, no ruins, just silence. Did the Picts ambush them, or did they desert? A stone marking their name stops after 120 CE. Fun fact: their eagle standard, a legion's pride, was never found. Rome's ultimate shame. Would you march into a foggy glen with no backup? Flight MH370. March 8, 2014, and Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370 takes off from Kuala Lumpur with 239 souls. It veers off course over the South China Sea, then vanishes from radar. No distress call, no trace. Debris later washes up on Indian Ocean islands, but the Boeing 777's wreck stays hidden. Pilot suicide, hijack, or tech failure? We're still guessing. Fun fact: it's the most expensive search ever. $200 million, no answers. Would you board a plane knowing it could ghost the world? Harold Holt's swim. December 1967, and Australia's Prime Minister Harold Holt hits Cheviot Beach for a dip. He dives into rough surf. Then he's gone. No body, no clues, despite a massive search. Sharks, riptides, or a wilder theory like a Chinese sub kidnapping him? Aussies still wonder. Fun fact: they named a swim center after him. Ironic, right? Would you swim waves that snatch a leader? The Flannan Isles Keepers. December 1900, and 3 lighthouse keepers man the Flannan Isles station off Scotland. A passing ship notices the lights out. Oh. A team lands and finds beds unmade, clock stopped, no keepers. Log entries mention a storm, but locals swear it was calm. Aliens, sea beasts, or a fight gone wrong. The sea kept their secret. Fun fact: the lighthouse ran without keepers for years after. Creepy. Would you guard a light where men vanish? D.B. Cooper's Jump. November 1971, and a guy calling himself Dan Cooper hijacks a Boeing 727 over Washington state. He demands $200,000, gets it, then parachutes out mid-flight with the cash. Never seen again. FBI chased 1,000 suspects, found a few bills by a river, but no Cooper. Folk hero or dead in the woods. Fun fact: his tie, left behind, had rare metals, maybe a clue. Would you leap from a plane with loot and no plan? The Sodder Children. Christmas 1945, and a fire guts the Sodder family home in West Virginia. 5 of the 10 kids, aged 5 to 14, don't escape, but here's the twist. No bones are found. The fire's blamed on wiring, but the phone line was cut, and a witness saw kids in a car that night. Kidnapping, mafia hit, or miracle survival. The parents died searching. Fun fact, a billboard for clues stood for decades. Would you sleep easy after losing half your family? Yuba County 5. February 1978, and 5 friends, dubbed the Yuba County 5, drive to a basketball game in California. Their cars found abandoned in a snowy forest miles off their route. Months later, 4 bodies turn up, 1 starved, others frozen, but no trace of the 5th. Why'd they deter? Madness, cult, or foul play? Fun fact, one man's boots were worn by another. Total head-scratcher. Would you road trip with buddies into nowhere? Bennington Triangle. Vermont's Glastonbury Mountain 1940s is a spooky spot dubbed the Bennington Triangle. Between 1945 and 1950, 5 people vanish without a trace. A hiker, a hunter, even an 8-year-old boy. No bodies, no clues, just eerie woods. Locals whisper of curses or Bigfoot. Fun fact, the area's trails were shunned for years after. Would you hike a hill that eats wanderers? The Eilean Mor Lighthouse. Off Scotland's Flannan Isles, the Eilean Mor Lighthouse stood as a lonely beacon in 1900. 3 keepers, James Duckett, Thomas Marshall, and Donald MacArthur, were stationed there, tending the light. On December 26th, a supply ship arrived to find the place deserted, coats hung on hooks, a meal half-eaten, and the log noting a fierce storm. Yet nearby islands reported clear skies. No lifeboat, no bodies, just eerie silence. Did a rogue wave sweep them away, or did they flee something stranger? Fun fact, the lighthouse clock was stopped at 2 a.m., like time froze. Would you man a post where the sea steals souls? The Springfield Three. June 1992, Springfield, Missouri, and 3 women, Cheryl Levitt, her daughter Susie Streeter, and Susie's friend Stacy McCall, vanished from Cheryl's home. They'd celebrated graduation, left purses and keys behind, and the front door was unlocked. A broken porch light globe was the only clue, but no fingerprints. Cops chased leads, graves, psychics, even a serial killer, but nothing stuck. Fun fact, a cryptic voicemail on their phone was erased by accident. Would you sleep in a house where 3 evaporated overnight? Lord Lucan's escape. London, 1974, an aristocrat Lord Lucan's life is unraveling. Divorce, debt, custody fights. On November 7th, his nanny is found murdered in his ex-wife's basement, and Lucan's gone. He attacks his wife that night, but flees when she screams. His car's found abandoned, bloodstained, with a lead pipe inside. Did he sail to Africa, hide as a recluse, or die by his own hand? Sightings persist, but no proof. Fun fact, he was a pro gambler nicknamed Lucky. Ironic, huh? Would you run from a crime or face the gallows? The Jamison Family. October 2009, and the Jamison family, Bobby, Sherilyn, and 6-year-old Madison, head to Oklahoma's Panhandle to buy land. They're never seen again. Their truck's found in the woods with $32,000 cash, a starving dog, and no tracks. For years later, their skeletons turn up 3 miles away, but no cause of death. Cults, drugs, or a family secret? Nobody knows. Fun fact, a creepy photo on their camera showed Madison looking scared. Last snap ever. Would you camp in woods that hide whole families? Colonies, pilots, kids, these vanishings keep us up at night. Which one gave you chills? Drop a comment. Know any spooky disappearances we missed? Smash that subscribe button for more mysteries that twist your brain, and share this with your friends to creep them out. Let's keep chasing the shadows of the lost.